Chapter 92. The morning gale on the height, the Lord's morning blessing. The patriarchs continued to rest for about half an hour, and Adam closed his eyes as fast as he could, lest he absorb a single ray of the spurious day. After this half hour, suddenly a strong gale arose. Its whirlwinds uprooted the biggest and strongest trees. Thousands upon thousands of flashes of lightning cut through the air, and on the neighbouring mountains, mighty columns of fire dug large pieces of rock from their bases, scattering them like chaff in the air. The constant crash of lightning instilled an excessive fear in Adam, so that he thought, "My God and my Lord and beloved Holy Father, if your great adversary, the Leviathan, this mighty serpent of all perdition, should maybe still have succeeded in outwitting you, and, while you are now among us with your blessings, usurping the throne of your eternal holiness, what shall we do? What will become of your holy promises? If you, O holy, dear Father, are dispossessed by Satan, what shall become of us?" This raging of the elements against us is surely a sign that Satan has succeeded in his great iniquity. "O Father, Father, what will then become of us?" Behold, these were the thoughts Adam was harbouring, and, since I still did not make a move, he was almost convinced that I, including him and all the children, had become prisoners of Satan. Wherefore he finally opened his eyes again, and anxiously looked in my direction to see whether I was still there, with the children around unharmed. When he thus opened his eyes, he was even more alarmed at the devastating scene presented by the fire and gale. For it seemed to him as if destroyed burning mountains were flying through the air, scattering burning pieces here and there amidst mighty crashes. Beholding this phenomenon, he cried out aloud, calling to me, "Abidim, Abidim, you holy Father, if any might be left to you, do rise above this your and our worst enemy, and force him to be quiet, and realize his impotence before you. Otherwise we are all lost." At this clamour caused by Adam, all the children rose, and, because of the horror scene and the sinister words of Adam, all, except Enoch, Jared, Lamech and his wife Gamela, Horrid and Naomi, Uranian, Gabriel and his wife, Aora, and their daughter Purista, Lamel, Pariholi and his family, Sihel, Jarius and his wife Basella, were overcome by very great fear and trepidation, and, so to speak, infected by Adam, ensnared by his thoughts. In their fear spoke the same words as Adam. When Horrid heard such utterances from all directions, he became very upset, sprang up from the ground, and in a loud voice said to all who were beset by Adam's fear, "Fathers, brothers, mothers and sisters, what immensely foolish fear holds your hearts imprisoned? And what still more foolish, indeed blasphemous, words flow from your tongue? Never has any of you been in as great a danger to be swallowed by Satan as I was. But who snatched me with such mighty speed from the jaws of the monster? Was it not he who now is still visibly among us, full of love and with his blessing? Was it not he? The Almighty, great God, who has now, in his endless love, endowed us with the true sonship, as surely every one of us could fully conclude from the wondrous vision of the messengers. He, the Almighty, eternal, infinite, holy God, should let himself be vanquished, and in the end, even brought to perdition by a miserable creature? O earth, have you a nook left where a greater nonsense than such thoughts might sprout? Listen, I am only a weak man like you. However, having, like you, received the mighty blessing from him personally, I confess and say, verily, verily, he is my witness. With the power of this his blessing within me, which, compared to his slightest whiff, is as much as nothing, I listen, I quite alone will take on 100 times 100,000 of such mischief-making weather devils, even should every one of them be by as many times mightier than the number just mentioned by me. If I, the only sinner among you, am daring and able to do this, think, what is it after all that fills your hearts with such foolish fear? Oh, you faint-hearted ones! But so that you may see how utterly futile and foolish your fear is, I command this dreadful enemy to leave and hide himself in some muddy hole of the depth. Behold, already a blissful peace is reigning everywhere. Where are now the lightning, the flying mountains, the whirlwind and fiery swirls? Where the dark clouds? But look there, how gloriously the true sun is already heralding the serene morning. At these words also Abdam rose, and Horrid, overcome by his great love, fell down at his feet and thanked him for this mighty blessing. And all the patriarchs stood there like petrified, staring now at Horrid, and then again at Abdam, not knowing what to think and do. But Abdam commended Horrid, and then turned to all, saying, Peace be with you, and my love be my blessing within you and over you. Rise, all of you, in the love for me, and you, Seth, go and provide an abundant morning meal. But you all shall ponder in the meantime on who, through me, is among you, and let go of your foolish fear. Not until after the meal, however, will I show you how idle your fear was. Amen.